Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time watching me, welcome. This is my long overdue part 2 for my June empties. And just to recap, I previously filmed my part 1, which was Lavender and Speckles, and now my part 2 is Dessa's Homespun scents. So what I did for June to make a dent in both of these collections, I exclusively warmed probably 90% just Lavender and Speckles and Dessa's Homespun scents. I've already done my Lavender and Speckles empties video a few weeks ago, and today I'm going to do the Dessa's portion. So I really wanted to film this before last week when Dessa had her pre-order, because there's some scents in here that she had in the pre-order, but I was able to do the pre-order breakdown video, and hopefully if you watched that one, you got your questions answered, or at least some sort of opinion about if the scent was for you or not. So Dessa's Homespun Scents is owned by Dessa Bonner from, where did she move to? Beaver Creek, Ohio, outside of Dayton. She previously has been in Arizona for a long time, and she moved cross country several months ago. Dessa is getting over the flu. She's been sick this whole entire week. She did post an update a couple of days ago in the group, so just know that she hasn't forgotten about everybody. She's ready to get pouring. I know she and I have talked about it, and she's just so excited. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I did get through a good bit of stuff, and a lot of these are fall blends, winter blends, and everyday blends. And I have been wanting to warm a lot of fall in my life the last couple of weeks. And even though I did finish these up in June, I've continued warming a little bit of fall here and there, but I'm trying to tell myself no. However, if you did participate in Dessa's pre-order from last Saturday, the 20th, that was her fall pre-order. She had a lot of new blends and a lot of blends that are repeat favorites and classics that she'll always have. I actually had more in my cart when I was making my order, but then I took some out, because what I did was, with a few exceptions, I primarily bought new blends. I wanted to try some of her new ones and some of the ones that I've seen and I haven't had. I did buy more Autumn Campfire, I do know that. I'm finishing up my last piece downstairs and on my downstairs level. But that's one of her most popular fall blends, and I'm just excited to get more of her eggnog and to try Christmas tree and just have good smelling fall wax. Dessa, in my opinion, is very talented at the fall scent category. So you guys are in for a treat, especially if it's your first time with Dessa. So I'm just going to go and dive right in, no particular order. Here we go. This first one is Boo Boulevard. Okay, Boo Boulevard was a new scent last year, I believe, and she offered last year. Usually, this year was an exception because her taking the time to relocate and such. Usually in the fall, she has cute little shapes and molds for the fall holidays and fall seasons, such as a witch on a broomstick or a bonfire. The other one has been a witch with a moon behind her. There's been pumpkins, there's been scarecrows, there's all sorts of things. And this was a little souffle of, they're square, not a souffle, but about the size of a souffle, just for model purposes. And it was a pumpkin, and this was Boo Boulevard. This is sweet candy corn, caramel dunked apples, buttery cake pops, and toffee bits. So what this one primarily smelled like, I had this one going downstairs exclusively in my hot plate warmers and my tea light. I have 3 warmers downstairs. I'd like to add a 4th, and I usually do around the holiday times, but not right now. I'm just working with the 3 that I have. I liked this one. This one has a very, you can tell there's caramel apple in it, but it's very creamy because you have the cake there, you have a little bit of toffee, which I didn't really smell too much. This was just primarily creamy caramel apple, and I liked this one. If that one would come back, I would try that one again. This next one is Gingerbread Cafe, and I think this was new last year. I got this one in October last year, so I believe this was one of her new ones. What this one is described as fresh brewed coffee infused with our delicious gingerbread. So, Dessa's gingerbread is one of my favorites, which I did get a big bar of. I have a couple, but I love her gingerbread. It's fantastic. This is that gingerbread blended with coffee. Now, this is where I have a criticism. This is not strong enough to be a nice coffee gingerbread blend. You know, coffee, especially Dessa's oil and Dessa's gingerbread, are very, very strong. So together, they should be strong. This did not perform very well for me. I had to be in the close vicinity of my warmers to smell this one. Does it smell great? Absolutely. It just didn't perform the best for me. And I was kind of sad because I thought coffee and gingerbread, what's not to love? I know those are two of my favorite oils, especially in the cooler weather and the fall and the wintertime. But this one, it kind of let me down, but it's a delicious scent. Maybe if I had it in a smaller area. This one I also warmed downstairs. Maybe if I had it in a smaller room or a bedroom or maybe a hallway entryway, maybe it would work better. But for me, it didn't perform how I wanted it to. But that's okay. They all can't be winners. This next one is Cranberry Pear Bliss Bars, and forgive the label, it has some water spill on it, and I tried to salvage it. Cranberry Pear Bliss Bars. This one was actually offered on the pre-order last time. This is cookie batter, cranberries, autumn pears, and white chocolate drizzle. I have this one in my cart to rebuy because it's such a yummy, buttery, creamy scent, but I took it out because I wanted to try something else. And I did get 5 of the mini loaves, and I was only going to get 3. So I had to make some adjustments somewhere. Like I said, this is delicious. The buttery cookie batter, a little bit of pear, a little bit of tartness from the cranberry. This is delicious. I wish I would have got this one, but next time it comes back. This was part of the Advent calendar from 2022, the Christmas Advent calendar. I loved this scent then, and so I've been buying it just about every time it's been available, but I just didn't this last time. This next one is definitely one that was on the list this past time, and also in a couple of blends. This is Apple Crumble. This was a tile. This is the smallest shape that Dessa offers. I personally cut a tile into 4 pieces. Some people get 6 pieces out of it. 4 is great for me in my home and my warmers. This is described as baked apples, cinnamon sugar, nutmeg, buttery crumble, and whipped cream. And Dessa it took her a long time to find the oils to have a beautiful apple crumble that she wanted. They were either too spicy or didn't have enough apple to it. This is a wonderful, beautiful scent. It's creamy, it's rich. You can almost smell it down in front of you, rising up to your nose. You can almost smell the little bit of ice cream or whipped cream you put on top and how the warmth just melts that a little bit. I love that. I get creamy apple, creamy cream, whipped cream. I get a little bit of the cinnamon, a little bit of the spices. I like the scent a lot. Did I buy this? No, but I think I got one with a blend in it because, like I said, I'm trying to get new blends. This next one is Candace Stallings' customer creation. This is key lime strawberry sugar cookies. And I don't remember if this one was on the list or not. I really don't remember. This is key lime custard, strawberry pound cake, and sugar cookies. This is fantastic. I really am not one that gravitates to lime, but because my husband does not care for lime. Those of you who've watched me know I say that all the time. But lime is kind of like cherry to some people. I'm not sure, especially if someone in your home doesn't care for the smell of it. However, this was a small enough one, and I wanted to try Candace's creation. She has really good blending ideas. I love this. And the key lime, I'd never had Dessa's lime before, and I thought that's a win-win. It's creamy. I can get a little bit of the pound cake from the strawberry pound cake, not so much. This is beautiful, creamy, rich sugar cookies and key lime. This one is a good one. Next, we have maple apple cornbread. This one was not on the list. I do remember that. This is thick cornbread, apple crumble, and maple butter. This is maple apple cornbread. I liked this one. It could be a little stronger in terms of apple. It was primarily just cornbread, sweet cornbread. I found myself wanting a little bit more apple to it. It's like it almost got there, but didn't transform into apple, because to me apple is a strong scent, and you should know the apples in it by smelling it. And Dessa's really good at blending apple stuff. I just think this one needed a little bit more something. But the apple part of this is apple crumble, and it is a creamy apple blend, so it probably just got lost in translation somehow between the maple butter and the cornbread. But I like this one. Next is La Parisienne Cafe. This one I got in the very last pre-order that shipped before Dessa closed down for a little bit. This is fresh coffee, pastry dough, caramelized sugar, sweet buttercream, and cinnamon sugar. This one is very, very good. It's got a little bit of spicy to it, but not hot cinnamon spicy, anything like that. It's just got a little bit of cinnamon sugar, heavier on the cinnamon than the sugar. The coffee was great in here. The dough was nice and creamy. The buttercream also helped in the creaminess department. I really, really liked this one. The one I would say the most similar to one on the pre-order list to this is La Patisserie, but that doesn't have coffee in it, of course. This is basically, I think, La Patisserie with coffee added, and it's great. I really liked that one. Next is Butter Pecan Crunch Ice Cream. I think this one was a new one, or it was brought out of the vault or something. Butter Pecan Crunch Ice Cream. This is butter pecan ice cream and butter brickle. Now, I've noticed some people don't care for butter brickle, myself included. I like it if it's not overdone. It can be a little bit too artificial for me, if you know what I mean. If you ever smelled it, it can be a little too much. So this was done very, very well. You got the creaminess, a little bit of maple from that butter pecan ice cream. I love butter pecan ice cream. You get, and sometimes not all butter pecans are created equal. Some can be too maple, too sweet. But these two together, I really liked this. It was a moderate throw. It really wasn't the strongest performer, but I did also move this into a smaller space in my guest bathroom where I have a tea light warmer, and if I really want to see how a blend performs, I put it in there. That's my go-to room. I liked this. It's just better in my home in a smaller space. Next is Fresh Bread and Jam. This one will be always on Dessa's pre-order list because this is one of her original blends, one of her best sellers. It blends beautifully with just about anything. This is simply crusty bread and strawberry jam. I don't remember if I bought this. I really don't. I usually try to because I use it quite often, but I do have a few in my collection still. I did make a big dent, but I didn't use everything. I still have some stuff. I'll have to check my invoice and see if I ordered this one this past time. This is beautiful, yummy, rich, gooey, soft, doughy bread with strawberry jam. It's perfect. It's wonderful. It's a great blender. It goes great with all bakeries, coffees, fruits, other breads, etc. Fresh bread and jam. Hi, Henny. Poppy's in the room with me. This is Pacific Wharf. This is one that I wanted to come back this time, but Dessa wanted to stick to just a handful of her everyday scents or her Main Street Memories blends, where this one is part of. And she did add in some a couple from the Main Street Memories collection, but mostly she stuck to fall and a little bit of holiday. This is Pacific Wharf, like I said. This is Salty Sea Air, Pineapple Frozen Whip, Orange Grove, and Pierwood. This was perfect for this summer. I started warming this the beginning of June. I finished it up around the end of June. This was so nice. You have the orange and the pineapple, which just screams summer. I didn't get too much Pierwood, and I got a little bit of Salty Sea Air, but this was the perfect salty citrus. I would buy this again when it comes back. Next is Holiday Whoopie Pie. This was a new blend last year that I had to try. This is described as fluffy gingerbread and pumpkin cake sandwiched together with a mound of creamy marshmallow fluff filling. So a whoopie pie, whoopie cushion, gob, whatever you call it. I grew up learning the term gob because I'm from southwestern Pennsylvania, and gobs are everywhere there. I actually, when I fly back and I visit, Even gas stations will have gobs. And in southwestern Pennsylvania, there's a chain of a chain of convenience stores called Sheetz, Sheetz. I love Sheetz. They usually throughout the year have vanilla gobs or whoopie pies and chocolate. In the fall time, they have pumpkin. So what I would do is a couple of, maybe the day before I go home, I would go to Sheetz and buy a bunch of gobs and put them in my purse. I always take a big purse when I travel, but I would put them in my purse, bring them home here, and freeze them. And I would defrost them when I wanted to have one. And I grew up with having whoopie pies and gobs. Gobs are two cakes with fluff in the middle, basically. So I got excited. I got excited when this was gingerbread and pumpkin cake with the cream. I thought, ooh, it's a gingerbread whoopie pie. And that's exactly what this is. It's nice, fluffy, rich gingerbread cake with a little bit of creamy pumpkin. Not too pumpkin spicy, just the gingerbread is dominant there. And then you have the creamy marshmallow icing, that fluff, which just adds extra creaminess. I really liked this blend. Next is Eggnog Cinnabon Latte. So this was a new one also, I think. This is fresh brewed coffee, her holiday eggnog, and fresh cinnamon rolls. So Cinnabon was on the list, of course. That's probably going to be one that's always on the list. I did not get it this time because I'm trying the new ones. I'll stop saying that. But Cinnabon is so damn good. It's creamy and rich cinnamon, middle of the cinnamon roll, where you get all the concentration of the gooiness and all the spices, and it's the best bite, in my opinion. That is mixed with holiday eggnog, which is it's vanilla eggnog with a touch of spice. No booze in it, not to my nose at least. It's blended with that, and what else does it have in here? Coffee. So this was nice. It's a nice cinnamon coffee bakery. Not so much heavy on the coffee. It's a bakery forward coffee. So that's this one. Next is Smoky Mountain Berries. I don't think this was on the list, or I would have got it, because this is one of her most popular ones for holiday. Maybe it'll be on the next one. This is Festive Holiday Berries, Vanilla, Fraser Fir, and Bayberry. Bayberry just takes me right back to the 90s when my mom was playing around with potpourri and things in the early 90s. There's so many memes I see floating around of the Glade potpourri, the air freshener, and the containers of potpourri that our moms, at least if you were an 80s and 90s baby, you'll understand, sitting around our home, and the hunter green and the rose colored things. Just, man, that was in my home. So Bayberry was one of my very first experiences with home fragrance. So this one, you get a beautiful mixture of berries and pine, a little bit of sweetness from vanilla. This is one of her best sellers for a reason. It's very, very good. Very holiday, very cool weather, very nostalgic for some of us. Next is Roasted Honey, Butter, and Bread. This one is quiet and soft on cold, but it warms up beautifully, and it just performs so well. This is a dollop of whipped honey buttercream and top a thick slice of fresh baked bread. So kind of similar to the Texas Roadhouse or Steakhouse rolls with that sweet cinnamon honey butter, which is fantastic, with bread. So just imagine a little bit of that sweet cinnamon honey, which is very, very good. Cinnamon sugar honey with bread. I love this. It really blossoms on warm. I've noticed sometimes if I smell an older blend of Dessas that I haven't warmed and it smells a little weak in the bag, I always warm it just to see how it performs. And I'll be very surprised. This scent here, even though I got this back in January, I had it previously. It didn't smell all that spectacular on cold, and so I gave it some cure time. I put it in my warmer, and it just blossomed, and it became a moderate to moderate. I wouldn't quite call it a strong performer, but it's a weaker strong, if that makes sense. I liked this. I would definitely buy that one again. Next is Carnival. Carnival was on the list also. This is caramel apples, kettle corn, cotton candy, and circus concessions. So all of your favorite circus and carnival stuff together, the sticky cotton candy, the caramel apples. I just eat blends like this up. I love carnival blends. Our state fair is coming September 5th through the 15th. I bought our tickets already, pre-sale, to save a few dollars. We're going. I love our state fair. It's huge. And this just reminds me of all of that stuff that's there that is just so also nostalgic childhood, or just fun as an adult walking around with cotton candy. Like, this is absolutely no nutritional value, but it's delicious. So this is Carnival. Okay. This is Cinnabon, like we just talked about. This is doughy center of a cinnamon roll with cream cheese frosting. And this smells exactly like a Cinnabon. So you either love it if you like this type of stuff, or you don't like it, you never tried it. But if you know, you know. That's a good one. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Nana's Apple Butter Caramel Pie. This one is caramel apples, heavy cream, sugar toffee pudding, vanilla, and flaky pie crust. So this one is another one that's heavy and rich, creamy apple. But this one has a much more of a caramel presence and more of a bakery presence than the other one I talked about earlier on. I really get the pudding, the heftiness of that vanilla custard, and the caramel apples. This was delicious. I loved that one. Next one is Wish Upon a Star. This one was on the pre-order. Dessa could not decide between this one or Main Street Blueberry Waffles. So she asked me, and I picked this one because I absolutely love this one. This is Main Street Blueberry Waffles with zucchini bread. Belgian waffles, sweet blueberry compote, and creamy zucchini bread. This is one of her newer additions to the Main Street Memories or Disney inspired line. I absolutely love this. You get the gorgeous, delicious creamy waffle and Dessa's ultra fantastic authentic blueberry compote. I love this blend. And her creamy zucchini bread. Dessa's zucchini bread oil is not spicy in any form. It's very creamy and rich, and just, it's delicious. So it blends beautifully. I love this one. I hope you like it too when you get it, if you ordered it, or if you've had it. I hope you loved it. This next one is Main Street Christmas. This is another one of her best sellers. This is cranberry, bayberry, orange zest, crushed cinnamon, and pine needles. Now, this one was similar to Smoky Mountain Berries, but this one has a little bit more of a citrus presence because it does have that orange. It does have more cranberry, whereas the other one had bayberry. Bayberry isn't, I mean, this has bayberry too, but that bayberry is more present in the Smoky Mountain blend. I get a little bit of the cinnamon in here. This is like a really good, delicious Christmas potpourri. When I was young, my mom also had potpourri on the stove in a pot. She had a pot that was just for potpourri. Orange peel, cinnamon sticks, a little bit of pine, cranberries in there, and that would scent the home. I might try that this year, I'm not sure. But this is Main Street Christmas. I always try to grab that one. Next is Pumpkin Pretzel Crunch. This is doughy butter pretzel, pumpkin filling, and crunchy caramel bits. I believe this one was on the pre-order. I might have also made a custom mini loaf with this too. I did something with this at the end. I don't remember. I love this. I love Dessa's pretzel oil, and I just, it's so, she has another one called Naughty Pretzel, and it is caramel and pretzel. It's a nice, buttery, rich super pretzel. How I described it is whenever you go to the movies or a sporting event, anywhere where they have those big, massive super pretzels, you get one of those if it's fresh. Sometimes they're stale, in my opinion. But if they're fresh, you can get them butter all over them and that salt, and that's exactly what this oil smells like to me. The difference with this one, it's not caramel, it's pumpkin with a sprinkling of caramel, whereas Naughty Pretzel is heavier on the caramel. I liked this. It's nice and creamy, delicious, and that pretzel is outstanding. Winter cherries. This one I grabbed last pre-order. This is sparkling blend of sweet ripe cherries with a hint of effervescence and a dash of winter spices. This is fantastic. This is just a simple cherry blend, but like it says, it has a little bit of something to it. It's got a little bit of grown-up spices, meaning a little bit of cinnamon that I could identify, and maybe a little bit of nutmeg, something in those warm spices. And you have a little bit of effervescence to it. It wasn't like fizzy pop or fizzy soda or any even ginger ale where you can tell it's ginger, it's bubbly in your nose. This was just a little kick, a little nice bright punch. So right now, Canada Dry Ginger Ale has the splash of cherry, where they have a little bit of cherry juice in that ginger ale. I love ginger ale, but I've tried the diet version, and it tastes like cherry 7-Up to me. The ginger is not there. That's kind of what this is, where you get you have the cherry there, but it's a clean, crisp cherry with just a little bit of something. I know that probably was a bad description because there isn't ginger in here, but I was trying to say how the ginger kind of lets the cherry shine. The effervescence in here lets the cherry shine, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Winter cherries. Next is sweet macerated strawberries. This is another one of Dessa's most popular, coveted, gonna be offered all the time, a blend. This is actually not a house blend. I think this is a single oil. This is sliced strawberries coated in sugar until the natural sweet syrup is released. This one is loved by new customers, by old customers, by people who just like strawberry. This blends beautifully. It really just smells like strawberry shortcake. I know in the summer I would make strawberries mash them up with a fork a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of your sugar or sugar substitute on top, and then put them over angel food cake or those little shortcakes in the produce department if they still make those. That's what this smells like. I love that strawberry. Next is Coastal Forest Pacific Northwest. This is where the ocean meets the forest in the Pacific Northwest. Ocean mist, sea salt, Douglas fir, ponderosa pines, and warm driftwood. I'm pretty sure this was on the pre-order. If not, something super similar was. This is a really nice, fresh, slightly salty pine. Not too salty, but it's there. This is described as ocean mist and sea salt. It's similar to salty sea air, but it's not as salty to my nose. This is all of her pines mixed together. It's just nice and fresh, like you're walking on the coast of Oregon, and it's just beautiful. That's that one. Next is Fall in New England. This one is loved by many. It's offered most of the time. This was on the list last time, and I forgot to put it in my cart, so I'll have to wait until next time because I'm sure it'll be back. This is freshly brewed latte, buttery pumpkin, caramel sauce, and cinnamon streusel. This is the non-coffee lovers coffee blend because it's got really creamy, rich pumpkin caramel. It has a little touch of coffee. It's not overpowering, wow, this is coffee. It has a richness to it. It's creamy. It has a little bit of cinnamon in it, not too much. It's just that caramel and pumpkin really does shine. I really love that blend. And the last two here, almond cream baguette. This was definitely on the list. This is one of my absolute favorite ones. This is almond cream, crusty baguette, and powdered sugar. I went right for the big boy. This is my third one of these I think I've used. I absolutely love almond, and I love almond and bread together. This is the perfect ratio where it's not too sweet, it's not too almond, it's not too bread. It's a beautiful combination. This performs well too, even in a larger space or a smaller space. That almond oil is strong, so I love this one. I'll always buy that. And my last one here is one of my favorite blends from Dessa, and one I used a couple of times in my customs. This is burnt sugar cake. I absolutely love this. I've talked about this one many times, as have I talked about almond cream baguette, but this one has my heart. This is buttery cake batter and burnt sugar frosting. Burnt sugar frosting is just caramelized frosting. It's not burnt. It's not off-putting. This is rich and heavy, and it blends beautifully with farm fresh raspberry jam, with blueberries, with zucchini bread, with SPC, with anything you want it to. Dessa didn't have her sugar cookie oil on this last list. That goes beautiful with this too. If caramel sometimes is a little bit too much for you, always blend it with a cake or a cookie. I love this. I personally blended this with raspberry jam again because I love Dessa's raspberry, and I don't remember the other one that I did. But that's it. That's all my Dessas I got through. I think I got through quite a bit for only having a month, minus the few days that I was in Vegas for the month. But that is my Dessas. So I'm almost done. Well, July is almost done. August is here. So and maybe next weekend or so, I will film my July. I've got a lot to get through for July in my empties. I have 7 or 8 candles I've used, multiple bottles of soap, and tons of wax. So stay tuned for that one. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this helped you with some Dessa blends. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon.